Hi, I'm Kathryn Bruner, owner of KBR, and today I'm going to talk to you about real estate. So as a real estate agent, one of the most common things that happens in any situation, whether I'm at a party with friends or at lunch with family or in a meeting with clients, I get asked a lot of questions about real estate. And so today, I'm actually going to publicly answer a lot of those questions. So the biggest question and the number one question that I get asked is, what is the number one tip you have for someone who's buying a home? And whether you are a first-time home buyer or a long-time real estate investor, my number one tip is to get pre-qualified with a lender. And when I say lender, I do not mean go to the person that you're currently banking with and find one of their loan officers and fill out an online application. I mean find a local lender, preferably somebody that you can actually text and have an in-person communication relationship with. But the reason that that's really important is two things. One, a local lender a lot of the times has the ability to do what's called manual underwriting. So when you fill out an application online with a bank, a lot of times you go through automated underwriting. Basically, a computer gets to decide whether or not you are qualified or not qualified. When you have somebody that can do manual underwriting, they have the ability to talk to you about your finances, change some things in the file to make sure that you're only putting the things on there that will get you most qualified for a house. Because what a lot of people do is they just answer all the questions to the best of their ability, but they're not mortgage lenders, so how are they supposed to know what needs to go on the application? So being able to work with a lender that you can communicate really well with will make sure you close in a shorter amount of time, will make sure that your file doesn't get lost in underwriting, and will make sure that you get quality customer service and the best possible interest rate. So that's super important regardless of what stage of real estate you're in. Next question, how do I pick a good real estate agent? So for me, the biggest thing that I tell people, whether you're buying or selling a house, your realtor works for you like any other employee would. So why wouldn't you interview them? And why wouldn't you interview multiple people to make sure you're having the best person manage your asset? A lot of people will hire friends or family because it's what's familiar to them. But do you really want a friend or family member to manage probably the largest financial transaction you'll ever do in your life? I wouldn't. One of the first questions that I would ask a realtor is, what are your current investments in the real estate market? Because if your real estate agent is not actively investing in the market that you're trying to buy or sell in, they're not really able to advocate your resource to the best of their ability because they're not actively participating themselves. And if they're not actively participating, then they're clearly not able to leverage the market in the way that it should be and won't really be able to help you in the way that they should be. So definitely make sure that they're actively involved in the real estate market, that you interview them, and that you look at a bunch of different real estate agents and just don't go with the easiest one, because you want to make sure that somebody is negotiating your contracts appropriately, time managing your transaction appropriately, and giving you good customer service. So another common question that I get asked is, how much do I pay a real estate broker when I buy a home? And a lot of people don't know that in the state of North Carolina, buyer's agents are completely free to buyers. Now, there's one caveat that if for some reason you're purchasing a for sale by owner property and that for sale by owner does not want to give commission to a buyer's agent, then in that case, yes, you would pay a buyer agency percentage. But most of the time as a buyer, you don't pay anything. The sellers are in charge of the commission aspect of things, and they pay a real estate agent to list their house. That real estate agent pays a buyer's agent to bring a buyer to the house. So a huge issue that happens in the market all the time, and any real estate agent that is watching this right now is gonna be kind of mad that I'm sharing this, but if you're a buyer, don't call the listing agent. And I'm telling you this because the listing agent works for the seller, and they are required to share any information that you share with them to send it back to their seller, which would give their seller negotiation leverage, which takes yours away. So the best way to protect yourself is to get a buyer's agency agreement with a realtor that will protect your assets, protect your information, and be able to do solid research for you. Another common thing that I get all the time is, do I need 20% down to buy a house? And I know that our grandparents and probably our parents had to pay 20% down to purchase a home, but it's 2020, and there are a lot of federal loans out there to where you might only have to pay 0% or For FHA, you'll have to probably pay 3.5%, and it just depends on what you qualify for. So one, the best way to know that is to have a good lender that can help you with these questions. But two, you can do a lot of research on your own. So for low-income households, there's what's called USDA loans. And if you want to see if a property qualifies for a USDA loan, you can actually go to usdaeligibility.com and type the address in and see if it qualifies. And then on that website as well, you can see if you qualify for a USDA loan based off of your income. And that's 0% down. For VA loans, those are specific to veterans, and that's a 0% down. And then the third one I was talking about was FHA loans, and those are normally 3.5%. And if you have a good lender at the beginning of the year, there's usually a lot of grants available to lower that down. So make sure you ask those questions to see if you qualify for any grants. That way you have to put less money down on a house. Final question, can I use my VA loan or my FHA loan to buy an investment property? And unfortunately, the answer to that is no. For VA loans and FHA loans, you actually can only buy primary residence with those. The reason that the federal government has created these types of loans is so that more people can afford to buy houses. It's actually loan fraud if you use these loans to purchase a house for investment purposes like a flip or rental property or something like that. So if for some reason you're not in a place to where you can afford to put a lot of cash down to buy an investment property, buy a property that you can afford. Buy something that's on the lower end of the market where you can just do basic upgrades that you can do yourself in order to sell the house, gain some equity, and then take that money that you get from the house and put it into a conventional property. And a conventional loan is a different type of loan type that you can use to be able to buy investment properties. So the best way to grow your real estate portfolio is to invest in yourself, invest in your own home, build equity, and then use that equity towards something in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kathryn Bruner, owner of KBR. And if you would like to ask questions or be one of my questions in a future video, reach out to me via email or on Instagram.